me so much. How did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, yeah.
He kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy with dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man,
Right.
a very tough guy. And they see him, they probably he can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Very good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, right?
Thank you.
You're about to witness a quantum connection with the human mind.
Be a part of the next evolution in motion pictures and experience Mindgamers, being hailed as the first ever action film for the mind.
Spark it up.
This exclusive live event includes the cast and filmmakers joining today's top scientists as they reveal a new dimension in human consciousness.
Single unified field connecting everything.
Then, during the film, 1,000 audience minds from coast to coast will be connected in a groundbreaking experiment. After Mindgamers, witness live the first images ever captured of a mass mind collective.
This is wrong.
I'm all kinds of wrong.
Don't just see a movie, be a part of scientific and cinematic history.
This is the world you are graduating into. This is what I want to talk about today with you for a few minutes. To lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century.
This video will show you, with many different aspects that are in front of us, where the secret societies, the Freemasons, Illuminati, Skull and Bones, where they are getting their information and where this technology is coming from on the face of this earth. It is not from the minds of men. It is minds from the fallen.
Only Geo can awaken Mothra. And Mothra is the key to Godzilla protecting this place and its pathways to the surface.
The name is Bond, James Bond.
What you just saw there was a photo shoot from a movie that came out in 2009, Angels and Demons, with Tom Hanks. It was shot there at the facility of CERN, there in Switzerland. And what I want to establish here is, most of you probably know this, but for those who are going to see my work for the first time, I want to establish a couple of quick things before we move on into this video. First, we're going to address CERN and what the director of research in scientific computing there, Sergio Bertolucci, says in his own words. And it's very important what he says. The Large Hadron Collider could open a doorway to an extra dimension, and out of this door might come something, or we might send something through. So there you have it in his own words. It is no accident that Angels and Demons was done at a photo shoot here at this facility, because that's what's going on. Is they are trying to communicate with angels and demons, things that Solomon knew, things that have been in the past that were destroyed, and that they are trying to build back this technology and bring it back that was destroyed in the days of Noah of old. The other company I'm going to talk about now, and I'm going to play the quote, is D-Wave, and what it's about, and in their own words telling you again what they're trying to do. I'll play the clip now from one of the founders.
So you may have heard this word quantum computing. It's often, people have the misconception that it's some kind of newfangled supercomputer. It's decidedly not that. Quantum computers allow us to access hidden features of nature, new dimensions, and if we can access these sort of hidden dimensions at scale, we could have unimaginable computing power.
So there you have it. Two companies that are backed with billions and billions of dollars, D-Wave and CERN, both attempting to delve into dimensions, the hidden realms around us, things that are put in place for a reason, for safety, our safety, humanity's safety. Next, I'm going to play a clip that is a behind-the-scenes clip of Angels and Demons from the director himself, Ron Howard. And listen very carefully to what he says. And then I'm going to connect a dot to show you what they're attempting to do is nothing new. It's been tried many, many times. And I will connect the dots for you on that. Enjoy this clip. I'll be right back.
For centuries, science has been trying to understand on a literal basis so many aspects of our world, including the moment of creation.
Take your places, people. Atlas and CMS.
Currently at CERN, particle physicists are conducting experiments hoping to recreate the Big Bang. They're hoping to understand how our universe came into being.
So you heard it from his own mouth, Ron Howard, the director. What CERN is attempting to do is to learn the universal language of creation. They're trying to back engineer how we were created and try to understand that. Instead of turning to a creator or a God, they believe in the Big Bang. So what I'm going to show you now is a video put out by CERN. And everybody's seen this that has followed the conspiracy behind CERN. We are happy at CERN. But I want to show you something that nobody has touched on, that I know of. And even myself. During this video they were putting out, they were dancing, it's been decoded, all of that. But also in the middle of this video there's a gentleman who is holding a sign, and I'm going to show it here, Bond 1 and Mandela. Now, whether you believe in the Mandela effect or if you even know what that is, there's plenty of things out there on the internet about Mandela effect. But what I want to state to you here is, even myself, the Bond 1, I was looking for the James Bond connection. The first one, the movie James Bond. The first one is Casino Royale, with Barry Nelson, thus the last name Nelson Mandela. But it goes deeper than that. To throw you off here, here's the connection. Bond 1, the first Bond, and what the James Bond movies are based on is none other than John Dee. That's right, the advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. He was a mathematician, astronomer, astrologer, occult philosopher. He dove into alchemy, divination, Hermetic philosophy. Also very interesting. This is why I'm saying this is the connection. In his last 30 years of his life, he was attempting to commune with the angels in order to learn universal language of creation and bring about the pre-apocalyptic unity of mankind. In other words, just like the study of Shiva, when you dive into the deity of Shiva, where the serpent is eating itself, snake eating itself, the same thing is going on. Bring about destruction of mankind and start over. Bring about another Big Bang destruction and start over. It's all the same thing, just told different ways, is what they believe in. This is what's going on at CERN and D-Wave. For those who have seen Lucifer Through the Looking Glass, my project, Alice is a code word for Lucifer, and that's why I named it. Instead of Alice Through the Looking Glass, it is Lucifer Through the Looking Glass of what is being attempted and what is going on here. Notice that one of the detectors is called Alice of CERN, so it's no accident. So you start connecting more and more dots of what is really going on. John Dee was the first James Bond.
One of the reasons he came up with the idea of 007 is, of course, you've heard the story of John Dee signing the letters, the important information to Queen Elizabeth I, 007. And for centuries, I guess people have assumed that that's the 00 and a 7. But back in the day, nobility and royalty, especially Queen Elizabeth I, they used to wear lorgnettes. And those are eyeglasses with a handle, which is 00 and then the handle meaning 7. And what that was stating was when John Dee would sign that on the paperwork that was sent in the communications, it was for her eyes only, for the Queen, for her eyes only. And even James Bond movie, there's a James Bond movie for your eyes only. So that's what it was. It wasn't necessarily a 7. It was 00 and then the lorgnette emblem. So that's what that means. And there's other things that are associated with that play into that. From Facebook, you've got, it looks like 2 balls and a cane, Tubal-Cain, which comes from that. The Facebook, which we all know, they're spying on us. They use Facebook. We freely give information to Facebook when we open it up. That's why they call it a profile. It's a profile on you, and you share what you eat, everything. There's no telling what people share on Facebook. I just share information. I don't share my personal information on there. But anyway, Facebook used as spying, which also James Bond, spying, the connection. James Bond is a spy for the Queen of Great Britain. It's all connected, all symbolism mixed with reality that is going on now in the 2017. So you see the connections there also in Freemasonry. The first reference to Tubal-Cain in Freemasonry is found in the Legend of the Craft, where he's called the founder of Smithcraft. Tubal-Cain was a master of forging weapons, in which 33rd degree Freemasonry and Master Rosicrucian. Manly P. Hall, this is what he says, this is about him and his weapons. The Mason must follow in the footsteps of his forefather Tubal-Cain, who with the mighty strength of a war god hammer his sword into a plowshare. Tubal-Cain is the password given in the 3rd degree of Blue Lodge of Master Mason. So, I mean, it's all through Masonry. We know NASA is covered with Freemasons. We shouldn't believe anything they're telling you, because it's all illusion, leading you astray to believe in aliens, whatever you want to say. That's a whole nother video. In the Bible, this is, Tubal-Cain is described in the Bible under Isaiah 2:4. He will judge between the nations and will settle disputes for many peoples. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not take up sword against nation, nor will they train for war anymore. And also in Joel 3:10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weakly say, I am strong. For these reasons, Tubal-Cain has been consecrated among Masons of the present day as an ancient brother. His introduction of the arts of civilization having given the first value to property. Tubal-Cain has been considered among Masons as a symbol of worldly possessions. Let me repeat that. Tubal-Cain has been considered among Masons as a symbol of worldly possessions. So what that is telling you right there, for all you Masons out there that claim you're Christians, here's what Christ says about worldly possessions. Matthew 6:19-21. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through or nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So there you have it. Freemasonry disguised as some kind of Christianity. And they're really a brotherhood that secretly communicate amongst themselves to protect the brotherhood, per se.
Me and Joe were talking about the legal system. See, I'm suing the guy that ripped me off for this stuff.
Joe, do you have any experience in a court of law?
1987, Joe Gorelli is arrested on a drunken disorderly. Case dismissed. 1989, again, drunk and disorderly. Case dismissed. Besides, Jimmy's case is in the bag, because we know something that the other side doesn't. That all federal, state, and local judges are members of a certain obscure sect of the Freemasons.
Now, hold on. Our strategy is that all judges are Masons?
Well, there's more to it than that.
Like what?
Well, there's a secret Masonic word which, when uttered, obligates judges to rule in your favor.
Wait a minute. You're basing my whole case on some silly secret word?
Mr. James.
Come on, Joe, give it up.
Tubal-Cain.
Tubal-Cain?
Sorry.
Those were some clips from a TV show back in the 90s called News Radio. And yes, I agree that if you go to court and you mention Tubal-Cain that you're going to get off. No, I do not. But what it is showing you, and kind of mocking us that we don't know this, but there is an unwritten language that is going on between the brotherhood that has been passed down for centuries and centuries. That where John Dee left off and his discoveries, things that he was working on, that it has been passed on. It's still continuing today under other names, alchemy and those things like that. They were mixing magic, science, and religion all together. It was just a melting pot. I also find it very interesting that a very famous Arthur C. Clarke, a science fiction writer, has a great quote. It says, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And when you start researching and connecting the dots of what's going on with NASA, technology, the magic of the Illuminati and music behind the Illuminati, the frequencies and tones, they are the builders, and nothing has changed. All it is has been repackaged under new names for our day and time. The next clip I'm going to play, I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but this is a great clip on John Dee and when, they picked up where he left off, and that is what CERN and D-Wave, part of the compartmentalization that is going on to communicate back and forth from one realm to the next. And once that doorway is opened all the way, you cannot shut it. You're going to let something into this realm that is not supposed to be in this realm, and it was put here by the Creator for a reason, for protection. Firmament over the earth, call it whatever you want. Please enjoy this clip. I'll be right back after this.
The discovery of the Hermeticum during the Renaissance created a new generation of occultists. They sought to combine religion with science and magic, a dangerous undertaking in a society ruled by Christianity. John Dee would risk his life to study its teachings.
John Dee was a giant. John Dee was the embodiment of the ideal of an enlightened being who had the spiritual understanding of his role and mission in life, and who was gifted with, superior intelligence.
But like Pythagoras, he would pay a heavy price for daring to seek out the wisdom of the gods. The ultimate Renaissance man, Dee followed in the footsteps of Paracelsus, using experimentation to become a gifted scientist, an inventor, a mathematician, a brilliant cryptographer, and a pioneer in the field of navigation.
But he was also an occultist, he was a sorcerer, he was an astrologer. He was, in fact, Queen Elizabeth's personal court astrologer. And in that sense, his interests were all very much in keeping with the thinking of the time. There wasn't a distinction made between magic and science, and he was pursuing an understanding of the world around him.
When Queen Elizabeth rose to the throne of England in 1558, she installed Dee as court astrologer, but his influence reached far beyond his position. England's famous magician was also a spy for the Queen.
He was involved with political intrigue. He was a trusted ally of the Queen, but he was also working behind the scenes throughout Europe to help to lower the power of the Church and to substitute Protestant power in its stead.
With Dee's guidance, Queen Elizabeth officially legitimized the most significant occult science of the Renaissance, alchemy. Alchemists had two goals: to heal illness and to turn base metal into gold. They believed success could be achieved by finding the Philosopher's Stone, a mystical agent that would also produce a higher level of consciousness in the alchemist.
That was really an approach to trying to understand the way the physical world works, and alchemy as a practice, was the forefather of modern chemistry.
Alchemy had existed since the early Egyptians, but in the hands of the Renaissance scientists, it reached new heights.
Everything that we know and do today in our modern science was developed by the alchemists. Laboratory techniques were part of the alchemical tradition. The observation of results, the scientific method is a child of alchemy.
Alchemists were on the leading edge of science. They discovered phosphorus, zinc, the distillation of alcohol, the germ nature of diseases. They were the first to understand how blood circulates in the body. The Church viewed their unorthodox experiments and scientific breakthroughs with growing suspicion.
We are speeding up what nature does. We're speeding up the rate at which the metals evolve. We're speeding up the rate at which medicines are combined and raise consciousness. And the Church felt that you can't be speeding up God's creation without recourse to demons.
Despite his work in alchemy, Dee's true occult passion lay in divination. He believed that he could apply scientific methods to communicate with supernatural beings. Dee's obsession with contacting the angels would have disastrous consequences. This art of manipulating objects like bones, tea leaves, and tarot cards had arrived from the Muslim East in the 14th century and become a popular method of fortune-telling. But Dee used a divination method known as scrying. Dee relied on looking into a crystal ball that would reflect back supernatural information.
Scrying is a long-time-old technique, scrying into glasses, mirrors, bodies of water, anything that would have a reflective surface, and see if you could see not just the material things, but the spiritual things standing behind.
These efforts were unsuccessful until one day a young man named Edward Kelly appeared at his door. Kelly seemed to have the talent to see into the shadow world.
Their system involved Edward Kelly looking into a amethyst crystal and describing what he saw, and John Dee would then record these communications.
Kelly began receiving messages from the angels. They spoke in a language he called Enochian, from the lost biblical book of Enoch. These transmissions are early examples of what New Age followers now call channeling.
What Dee and Kelly brought forth was completely new. It was not based on tradition.
He appeared to be speaking a new language.
The Enochian language does appear to have a coherent vocabulary and syntax, and this doesn't seem like the sort of thing that Kelly, who was not a particularly educated or schooled person, could have just invented. He couldn't have faked something like that.
John Dee and Kelly embarked on a tour of Europe to share their discoveries, just as the Inquisition launched another crackdown against heretics.
All you needed was a slight change in political or religious circumstance, and something that was considered exceptionally wonderful would then be considered demonic and scary.
Dee returned home to England to find that a mob had destroyed his irreplaceable library and scientific and occult instruments. Dee had fallen out of favor with the court. The man who began as a leading scientist of the Renaissance ended his life penniless, branded as a sorcerer.
Dee's main legacy was not to science, it is to magic. And it's because of those who have come after, who have seized upon what he created and made it into a new worldview, whether it's consciousness arts or ceremonial magic or divination, could take place inside these new parameters that they set up.
John Dee's fall was the beginning of the occult's end. The practices were reviled by the church as the work of demonic possession. From the 14th through the 16th century, more than 40,000 people would be executed for witchcraft. Occult ideas became embedded in the traditions of secret societies, such as the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians.
They were tending to do them passed on among secret brotherhoods and organizations because these are very powerful and dangerous ideas, dangerous to status quo, dangerous to institutionalized religion. So there's an element of underground secrecy associated with some of these themes.
These havens of safety began to flourish across Europe. Secret societies were instrumental in the new age of enlightenment that swept through Europe in the 1700s and even helped in the founding of American democracy.
So there you have it, the brotherhood. And that's part of the problem in 2017 is most on the face of the earth do not believe in a brotherhood. If you do believe in the brotherhood, you're a conspiracy nut, wacko, whatever you want to say. But this still does exist. It goes by different names. Call it what you want. They're all Luciferian. It could be Bilderbergers, Illuminati, Rosicrucianists back in the day, Freemasonry now at the top levels. So that's one of the problems. But also, they mock us in movies, videos, in the news, Olympics. I mean, it's all over the place. That they're showing you who they are. You just have to learn their language. Centuries ago and throughout history, the octopus, Rothschild's octopus, the English throne, that was a symbol. The octopus was a symbol of having tentacles, so to speak, into everything, into money, trade, education, technology, whatever that was, science. The octopus has been a long, long time symbol of that, outreaching. There's plenty of good videos out there that talk of the symbolism of the octopus. I have one of those on my website as well. But, I mean, even just to show you how they mock us and put it in our face, you've got the 2015 London Olympics, right there, the octopus, the tentacles going out, and and someone, I don't know if anybody's touched on this, but notice that it's newspaper. The stage is newspaper, NEWS. That's code also for all over the world. The news, yes, but north, east, west, south. News. It's also on the Masonic tracing board as well, which, that's a whole nother video. But the outstretched tentacles of the brotherhood, the kingdoms of this world that have been given to Satan, and that's another problem, is Jesus was took up on a high mountain, Satan took him there, asked him to bow down, and if you worship me, I will give you the kingdoms of this world. And there still are for an age. And people have a big time problem with that. Sorry, that's the plan for an age. Even in the James Bond intros and movies, they mock Christ. They're showing you he actually plays the Christ figure that they mock and copy.
So what's yours? Resurrection. Everybody needs a hobby. So what's yours? Resurrection.
I'm gonna lose them. Can you get into a better position? Negative, there's no time. Take the shot. I say take the shot. I can't, I may hit Bond. Take the bloody shot.
Just relax. That's it, lovely. Now, you may feel a small prick.
What is it?
Cutting-edge nanotechnology. Smart blood. Microchips in your bloodstream allows us to track your movements in the field.
Well, I hope you're starting to see the connection of the mocking, the symbolism within the James Bond series. Also the connections of, remember, Tubal-Cain was an inventor, an iron and bronze worker, artificer, things that he created, techniques, technologies back in the day. The same thing with James Bond. He's always got a gadget. He's always got the sharpest cars, that connection, that information. And where this goes back to is where is mankind getting all of this technology and ideas like D-Wave and CERN, things of this nature? It falls back to Tubal-Cain and Cain, the descendants of Cain. The other part of the confusion with people is when you throw out Enoch, that they stay away from it. But if you understand, there are two Enochs in the Bible. There are two lines spoken of in the Bible, and there is the Enoch, the good Enoch, which is from the Seth line, which walked with God, and God took him up because of his testimony was great. But then there's the evil Enoch, which is a totally different Enoch that comes from the lineage of Cain. This is the one that is referenced in John Dee's work, is the Enochian language, communing with angels, bad angels. So that is, when you learn that, it opens up a lot of understanding of what is going on. The next clip I'm going to play is from a movie coming out, Mindgamers. But before we move on, I want to touch on something and connect another dot here in real world, not just movies and referencing music videos. I want to reference something else. This technology that has been shared with us. Let's go back to CERN and what they're up to. The next thing, the next phase is called the Awake Project within CERN. And the people that are heading that up and spearheading it per se is the Max Planck Institute, which is the Max Planck Society, which is behind that sponsors it. This society is headquartered in none other than Bavaria, Germany. Does that sound familiar to you? It should. For those who are into conspiracies, the Illuminati came out of Bavaria, Germany originally. And the logo tells you something else deeper. The logo is of Minerva. It is a Roman goddess. And for those who have looked at my documentaries and videos in the past, they, the elite, the ruling class right now, believe in a Holy Roman Empire that will be resurrected toward the end. So there you go with their logo, Minerva. And let's take it a step further. Minerva was known for her owl and all of her depictions. She has an owl, and that is also significant because an owl sees in the dark. It is enlightened per se. You are enlightened because you see light in the dark. That's the owl representation as well, that she is constantly associated with her owl. So there you have the connections of the science, the technology, everything. And the next clip is from Mindgamers that is going to be rolling out the 28th of March. Please enjoy this clip and I'll be right back.
You cannot possibly begin to understand what you're about to witness. I give you Enoch, a quantum connection with the human mind.
You connected all of us. This can't stop. I want more.
We could do everyone.
No, someone has to stay off the system.
Give the word.
I will connect you all. Do not fear it. 3, 2, 1.
I saw this trailer, I was like, wow. I mean, it was just, it is right out there of everything I've been showing for years and years. Let me just read the storyline here, guys, to this movie. Storyline to this movie is a group of brilliant young students discover the greatest scientific breakthrough of all time, a wireless neural network connected via a quantum computer capable of linking the minds of each and every one of us. They realize that the quantum theory can be used to transfer motor skills from one brain to another. They freely spread this technology, believing it to be a first step towards a new equality and intellectual freedom. But they soon discover, get this guys, but they soon discover that they themselves are part of a much greater and more sinister experiment as dark forces emerge that threaten to subvert this technology into a means of mass control. Wow. Man, this is how pre-programming works. It's rolled out to the movies, to the masses, and by the time it gets to the real world, everybody thinks it's part of a science fiction movie that they saw years ago, because this is exactly what D-Wave quantum computing is about. This is what CERN is about.
And underneath it all, behind the eyes of the men, hanging invisible over the summer night, is a horror without words. For this is the stillness before storm. This is the eve of the end.
Everyone I've talked to lately, they've been noticing it.
Noticing what, Joe?
That something's wrong. That something's in the air. Something's going to happen.
Hold your breath. Make a wish. Count to 3.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
When I read Ready Player One, it was the most amazing flash forward and flash back at the same time.
Anything you want, wanna change the world, there's nothing to it.
After the T-virus was released, a secret file was uploaded to my data stream. It was a recording of a meeting of the Umbrella High Command, dated 17 months before the viral outbreak occurred.
We're here today not just to talk about the future of this company. We're here to talk about its destiny. We're here to talk about the end of the world.
For over a decade, Illumina's solutions have enabled researchers and public health scientists to make groundbreaking discoveries and protect our communities from infectious diseases. From enabling the adoption of whole genome sequencing to aid investigations of foodborne outbreaks, to more recently helping public health officials around the world track the transmission of SARS-CoV-2, Illumina has been dedicated to those studying the smallest and deadliest threats to human health. Today, we are proud to introduce 2 new library prep solutions built on the simple and affordable COVID-Seq workflow that will help build global genomic surveillance capabilities and power impactful microbiology research. Illumina Microbial Amplicon Prep, or IMAP, is a unique library prep solution allowing researchers to use lab-designed or commercially available primers for targeted sequencing of viruses and select markers from larger microbial species. Ideal for One Health applications, the kit provides all the reagents needed to go from extracted nucleic acid to sequencing-ready libraries.
The means of our salvation are already at hand. I give to you the T-virus.
Here at least deliberately. When this recording was uploaded to my data stream, it created a conflict in my programming. I was created to serve the Umbrella Corporation, but I was also programmed to value human life. Dr. Isaacs allowed the virus to escape. He murdered over 7 billion people. My programming will not allow me to harm an employee of the Umbrella Corporation. I am powerless to stop Dr. Isaacs, but you are not. In 37 minutes, the last of the human settlements will fall. There will be no survivors. It is imperative you release the antivirus before this occurs, or Umbrella will have won.
Illumina Microbial Amplicon Prep Influenza A/B, or IMAP Flu, is optimised to provide extensive sequence coverage across both influenza A and B viruses, compatible with RNA inputs extracted from cultures or nasal swabs and washes. IMAP Flu delivers exceptional data quality, flexibility and scalability for public health surveillance and high-impact influenza virus research. Both solutions seamlessly integrate with the Dragon targeted microbial app. This powerful app serves to simplify data analysis, making it easy to perform consensus genome generation, variant identification, and variant interpretation.
Step up. You're clear. Next. Let's go. No good. Clear. Good. Move on. Just no way. Please take my food. You're gonna have to move back. No good. No good.
What? No. Robert.
I'm sorry. Whoa. Get your hands off my wife. Get your hands off. Stand down. Lieutenant Robert. Stand up again. Get your hands off. Stand her again. Stand down. Stand down, soldier! Stand down! I am Lieutenant Colonel Robert Neville. I'm ordering you to scan her again. Scan her again!
All right, scan her again.
It's clear. It's clear. Move through.
IMAP and IMAP Flu, two exciting new additions to Illumina's portfolio of solutions for public health surveillance and microbiology research. Because in the genome era, infectious diseases don't have to be a disaster.
I'd like to share a revelation that I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply, and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Human beings are a disease, a cancer. You are a plague.
To somebody who has melanoma and all the things that go with it is far more expensive than that. And then the cancer can return, so then you're going to be paying again.
Achievements may pale in comparison to the work of Dr. Alice Crippen.
If you've had it, then you can use this technology to stop it.
Yes.
So you'll still have to have all the treatments to get rid of it initially.
How many people have you treated so far? The world of medicine has seen its share of miracle cures, from the polio vaccine to heart transplants, but all past achievements may pale in comparison to the work of Dr. Alice Crippen. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Not at all.
So, Dr. Crippen, give it to me in a nutshell.
Well, the premise is quite simple. Take something designed by nature and reprogram it to make it work for the body rather than against it.
You're talking about a virus?
Indeed, yes. In this case, the measles virus, which has been engineered at a genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful. And I find the best way to describe it is if you can imagine your body as a highway and you picture the virus as a very fast car being driven by a very bad man, imagine the damage that car could cause. But then if you replace that man with a cop, the picture changes, and that's essentially what we've done.
How many people have you treated so far?
Well, we've had 10,009 clinical trials in humans so far.
And how many are cancer-free?
10,009.
So you have actually cured cancer?
Yes, yes. Yes, we have.
Technology is completely safe. And I think that we need some more long-term data, which will obviously come with these studies, to know that interfering with the DNA and RNA in our cells is actually potentially
But we did it with COVID.
We did, and there are oncologists now calling for it to be stopped, the mRNA technology. So there is still debate around that. And I think it's good. We need debate, but we need open debate where we really can look. The other thing is going to be cost, Nana. So we're looking with this particular vaccine at £400,000 per patient.
But surely the treatment of somebody who has melanoma and all the things that go with it is far more expensive than that. And then the cancer can return, so then you're going to be paying again.
Yeah, so this isn't going to stop the cancer in the first place. But this is after.
But once you've had it, then you can use this technology to stop it.
Yeah.
So you'll still have to have all the treatments to get rid of it initially.
You will. Okay. And then this will hopefully stop recurrence. Because otherwise you'd have to inject everybody in case they ever got it, and you wouldn't have any sample proteins.
Well, you wouldn't have initial DNA from... You'd need to do it.
So you've got to have the cancer to start with. But, you know, NICE guidance, which guides our money and how much we spend, puts about £30,000 on every life, quality of life year saved. So whether or not this will fall into it, whether the price will come down as the research goes ahead. But certainly, I said to you in the break, we are going to have some very open and honest conversations with people and say, look, this is your NHS, this is the pot of money. Do you want to do this or do you want to do that?
At this point of the show, the host would do something fun and spontaneous to show how we're all just ordinary people, like ordering pizza for everyone.
But since we already get food at the Globes, we thought we'd mix it up and try something new. So roll up your sleeves, Hollywood, because you're all getting flu shots! You know you wore a sleeveless gown for a reason.
Hey, shot! Excuse me, ma'am. You're definitely going to want to get Defoe. Great.
These nurses are all licensed professionals straight from the Rite Aid in Echo Park.
And look, if you're an anti-vaxxer, just put a napkin over your head and we'll skip you.
You're welcome, you guys.
This costs $50,000, you guys. You're welcome.
Future that Ernest Cline, the writer of the book, envisioned. I was very careful with Ernie collaborating with me every step of the way to be able to find the movie narrative inside this dense forest of Ernie's profound imagination.
The Oasis being the ultimate toy box with all the toys in the world, and then playing that with one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. It results in just amazing action and such a fun adventure.
Ernest Cline is such a visionary, and I think has seen the future before any of us possibly could even imagine it.